Alrighty, and we're gonna jump straight into our next wild card topic, which is interracial dating. Have you or would you consider dating outside of your race? I'll chime in first.
Have you?
Yes,
would
I
you?
have.
What you think?
Yes, all of that. I am happy to admit that yes, I have never been afraid to date outside of my color line. I think it's a great thing. I think everybody should experience it. Seriously, for real. Because when you just limit yourself to certain things, you're gonna get the same thing over and over. And I don't like repetitiveness. I want something different. I like diversity all the way around. I've always been that way since a little kid. I mean, like my first boyfriend was a little white boy when I was in elementary school. So yes, definitely. I think I don't see a problem with it. I encourage it. I really do. I think a lot of sisters are out there sitting wondering why I can't get a man or why there aren't any men interested in me. Well, have you opened up your possibility to date
in
someone?
all the wrong places.
Have you opened yourself up to the possibility of dating someone that doesn't look like you? What about you?
I haven't actually dated. When I was in second grade, I had this biggest crush on Jacob.
He counts. Jacob counts.
He was white. Okay,
Yeah.
that counts. But actually not a long lasting.
As an adult.
Yeah, as an adult, I have not. But I have not limit myself, to dating outside my race.
Okay, so you're in the beginning stages of your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And so from, let's say, teenager on up to now, between teenager and where you are now, what has kept you from dating someone that's outside your race?
It wasn't, I don't think it's anything that kept me, because it was just my surroundings. I was around African American men and some hot ones too. So, it was just my surroundings. You pick from your surroundings.
Okay.
And that's different. You were saying like here in Florida, you get more diversity.
Yes,
you may think somebody may be a certain color,
right,
a certain
but
race, but they are not.
Yep.
So, you meet different people and stuff like that. So, you gotta always be open.
Yes, you have to be open, and I agree with that. I think diversity is a great thing. One of the special things about tonight's episode, which is we both love this, is that we posted up the topics early. So we posted them on Facebook. So some of our viewers are chiming in with us. So we're going to be sharing those postings throughout the episode for tonight. And so we're going to jump right in, and I have a couple of posts already up in regards to the interracial dating. And I have one from my friend John Harris, who stated that he did date outside of his race. He dated Caucasian women and he dated Mexican women. And the reason he said he did date outside his race is because he said the sisters just wouldn't give a hefty guy a chance. And I find that to be shocking. When I just saw that post, it kind of blew me away, because I guess I never think of guys having that thought process, or guys going through those things. I know we as women, we go through those things. Men don't like us for this, and this. I just never see guys experiencing that. So to hear that is kind of like, wow, that shocks me. I see big boned brothers and big boned sisters together all the time. So I don't know, I guess I never would have thought that.
Yeah, I just say it's all out of ignorance and just dealing with things that you don't know about. Because, when I was younger, I wanted a dark-skinned, tall man. He had to be super tall, and now, my ex, he was light-skinned. So, as you grow older and open yourself up to different things, and just like, oh my God, I'm really putting myself into a box when I think that way. And for me, I never want to be limited to anyone. And I don't want to limit myself nor my happiness. So you got to stay open. Now, as far as some African American men may say that they don't date within their own race because black women are bitter. What do you think about that?
I'm tired of that. And brothers, it's played out. It's a played out excuse, because we're not bitter. And if we are bitter, maybe you should start thinking about maybe some of the reasons we are bitter. Maybe we are bitter because you guys keep picking over us. But, that's neither here nor there.
Or were they picking? Where do you get these women from?
You know what? And it can go both ways. It can go both ways, because I can understand where they're coming from on one level, and then I can understand them wanting to have the freedom to date who they want to date. And like you just said, and if you're dating because that is your preference, that's what you like, that's what you're drawn to, that's what you're attracted to, that's fine. But if you're dating because, well, you know, my people said, my grandma said I can't bring home nobody that don't, you know, that's not black, or if you're dating for, you know, ignorant reasons, I'm against that. I think that it's 2011 going into 2012. I think that it's a freedom of choice. You should be able to love who you want to love, and it should not matter the color of their skin. If that person is treating you right, I say go for it. But I can experience and I can relate to what John had said in high school. I remember a great majority of the black boys, you know, black guys telling me for specific reasons why they didn't date me. It was after we were out of school and we had graduated or whatnot, and I would see them at different times and they would tell me. And one of the reasons a lot of black guys didn't want to date me in high school is because they said I acted too white. I was too proper, which made no sense because the majority of them dated white girls. So I didn't understand that at all. That made no sense to me.
Right, like whatever. Mine was, you know, it was, oh, you're too dark. It was the complexion of my skin. It was too dark. And this when I was younger. Now it's like, you know, I don't know if it's just because people open it up more. Well, oh, your skin color is so nice and blah, 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 whatever. But, you know, I can see back in the day how some people thought that way. Like I was saying, my grandmother didn't have that. You know, she wasn't having that. No dating outside, no bringing no white woman up in my house. And I remember my cousin was dating a white girl, and she hated it. I mean, this was back when we was younger, because even now he's married to a white girl, and my grandma is more accepting to her.
Well, yeah, but kids are involved, grandbabies and stuff is involved.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that. She was an older black woman that came from the slavery days. Her mother had part of that, and so they was taught this was their lifestyle. You do not cross over like that at all.
And see, and we're related, so that. It's just shocking to me because I never experienced that. My mom had an open door policy as far as who I could bring home, whether it be my friends or who I dated. She was open and welcome. She never said, you cannot bring somebody home that's not black. She never said that to me. So I think because I didn't have those limitations set on me, and then again, I'm an only child too, so I didn't have no other siblings where I had to go through the path and figure my way out. It was just me. She never ever did that to me. You know, a white guy would come pick me up and she'd be like, oh, who's that cute white boy coming to pick you up? She didn't say, well, why is this blah, blah, blah coming to pick you up and taking me through changes or telling me you can't go with him because this, that, and another. But then on the other hand, she did warn me. She did forewarn me that you do understand that now that you're dating somebody that's not black, you know, not in your race, you're going to run into this problem. Are you going to be ready? Are you going to be ready? And are you going to be able to handle X, Y, and Z that's going to come from you dating somebody that doesn't look like you? And she kind of let me feel my way through the dark and, you know, let me experience it for myself.
My mom was the same way. My mom even dipped out of the little pond a little bit. My mom dated a Mexican guy, and I still remember this. I probably was like 11 or 12. I hope I ain't getting the timeline wrong when her and my dad got divorced.
Girl, don't mess that up.
But she did, and I remember him, and he rode a motorcycle. He was very handsome. So she did. So she wasn't limited. I think it's like more older people that thinks that way.
Yeah, and I think we're getting past that because sadly, but you know that generation is starting to perish. So I think that. We are starting to blur those color lines and for good reason. I think that the only problem I ever had with interracial dating was this. I hated when I was younger growing up, especially in high school, when a black guy dated a white girl. And I can only say white because we didn't really have a lot of different cultures in Elkhart, Indiana. So it was you were either black, you were white, or possibly Hispanic, mostly Mexican is what I grew up around. But I hated when the black guy would overlook a black girl to go out with a white girl because the white girl had money, or she would let them do or say whatever they wanted to. So they didn't want to deal with a sister or whatever she had to bring to the table. So you exclude me so that you can be with somebody where you can manipulate them or use them. That's what I had a problem with.
Yeah,
I had a problem with that.
Yeah, my problem, one of my problems about interracial dating is when that person feel like they got to transform themselves. Yeah, like if you're a black guy and you dating a white girl and she's country, and she overnight went from country to dressing like she a hip hop like no. That's the only thing that really bothers me and irks me. Yeah. You should even if you date outside your race. If I wish to date outside my race, I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna still eat the way I eat and things like that. I'm not gonna transform myself, and that's how. I think people should feel more comfortable when they decide that they should still
be who you are and be comfortable in your skin. I think that you should welcome the other person's differences, like welcome other parts of their culture into your life, and I don't have a problem with that, and I think you should explore that, but I don't think that you should just, now that I'm dating somebody that's Spanish, now I only want to eat, arroz con pollo, and I only want, Cuban sandwiches or whatever, and I'm not trying to get the races mixed up, but whatever, I'm dating somebody Chinese now, so no, I'm not eating no more fried chicken. I'm only gonna eat, chop suey from now on. I mean, that's going a little bit too far.
Just the way they dress and stuff like that. I just say
I don't think you have to take on their culture to date them. Like you can submerge yourself in their culture and get to know it and respect it, but you don't have to give up who you are to date somebody outside the race.
That's
and when
important.
You do that rubs me the wrong way. But I'm gonna check it on Facebook and see what somebody else has to say. Okay, yes, I have a former co-worker, homegirl, Maylee Alvarez. She checked in and she said yes. She said she dated Indian guys, black and mixed guys. And she said, I don't see a reason why not to date outside your race. We also had another homegirl of mine, Tiffany Omer Allen. She said that she has dated half black guys and Mexican guys before, and she said she did it because it was different and it was interesting. And I kind of like that. Kind of like that response. I think it is interesting, and that's one of the things I love about being here in Florida is because of the diversity, and we're such a big melting pot. And like you said before, you don't know what you date because they could be as white as snow, and you can find out that they're from Cuba. Yes. They could be
Irish,
dark, like super. Dark skinned, and you find out they're from England. I mean, look at Idris Elba as the perfect example. Oh my God, it's delicious. But anywho, you never know, and you shouldn't judge someone just because of the color of their skin or where they're from, what country they're from. I feel like if the person's attracted to you and they love you and they respect you and they treat you, great, and they treat you well, then I say go for it.
Yeah, that should be.
I said that you should go for it. We also have Daryl Johnson who chimed in, another one of my high school friends. He says, I think it's a good practice to date outside of your race. He said, that's how you erase ignorant assumptions we have been told for centuries. And I agree with that. He said, loan yourself to the experience. And I like that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like that is I think that as women, I'm going back to my sisters now, I think that black women, we do need to loan ourselves to the experience of dating outside of our race because we have changed so much. We have power now, we have jobs now, we own our own homes now, we own our own business now, we're doing things that we weren't prone to do before. So once you're doing that, you're in a different bracket. You're like the playing field's changed. It's not the old playing field. The playing field has changed. So now you're around a diverse group of people. And if you're not willing to open yourself up, or as Daryl put it so eloquently, to loan yourself to the experience, then you're missing out and you're cheating yourself. You wonder, well, how come I can't get a man, or where are all the good men at? Well, there's a lot of good men out there. The only thing is they just might not look like you.
Exactly. I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Aiden says, love the rainbow.
Love the rainbow. Skittles all day, baby. I agree. I used to say, I'm a member of the Rainbow Coalition. I wouldn't date anybody. I did not care. As long as they treated me nice and they were respectful to me. And they were dating me because they wanted to date me and not because they wanted to date a black girl or black woman.
Loaning themselves to the experience.
Loaning themselves to the experience for the wrong reason. As long as I wasn't feeling like I was some kind of experiment for them, then it was always cool with them. But one of the things that I always found humorous is that when I go out, and I have a diverse group of people that I know and that I have been out with from now until back in the day. And my friends will always be like, why is it every time we go somewhere, like the white men in the club be so drawn to you and so attracted to you? And I'm like, I don't know. The only thing that I can think of is because it's about confidence. It's the confidence that you carry, and not just that, but being open and being approachable. And I'm an approachable person by nature, just bubbly, outgoing, and I never was standoffish, just sitting there with a mean scowl. Hi. If you say hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? I'm gonna sit down and have a conversation with you. And you know, it is what
and
it
you
is.
can see that. I mean, if they probably paid really close attention, that a lot of the men were attracted to you,
Right.
just because of your personality, and a lot of men are attracted to people with more open, bubbly personality.
Right.
Who is attracted, even as a woman, who attracted to an old grumpy,
grouchy,
don't
person.
smile?
And the funny thing about that is because I went out with one of my, she was a white lady, a white co-worker, and we went out, and you know, she was dating in the dating process or whatever, and the whole night she was sitting like this. And I'm like, okay, 4 dudes done passed, and they was on their way over here to talk to you, and then when you looked at them, you had this scowl on your face. They were black, they were Spanish, they was whatever, and they just were like, I'm not gonna go talk to her, and we'll come over and say hi to me. And I had to come and be like, what's wrong with your girl? Like, you know, what, is she feeling okay? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, girl, can you smile? But make yourself approachable. Be approachable. And once again, like Daryl said, loan yourself to the experience. Try something different. Why do the same thing over and over and over again?
Yeah, and when you open yourself, when you open your mind, you may shock. I mean, I know you're going to get shocked. You're going to be like, oh, I didn't know that. Or, you know, black, white men, Mexicans, I mean, everybody, I believe, have some type of barrier up, and if you just let them barriers go, you can overcome.
Oh my goodness.
Lots.
It's definitely about just sit back, relax, relate, and as my husband would say, release. So release all those inhibitions. I had a homegirl, Lisa Hanson Wilson. She chimed in and she said, yes, there is nothing wrong with dating outside of your race. She said, color does not make the person. And I applaud you, Lisa, for saying that. Color doesn't make the person makes the person. The character and the content of the person is what makes the person. Okay? So if you look at it from that point of view, hey, you never know. You never know what you might come across or who you might come across for that matter.
Exactly. And I say this and I stand by it. I done heard men say it. I done heard women say it. If you say that you're not dating inside your race because of certain different reasons, I feel like you're ignorant. That's an ignorant comment, because one person cannot make up that whole group of people.
Yep.
So that's just ignorant, and I think it comes from something from you, that's a choice that you're making because it got something to do with yourself. Maybe your self-image, maybe some type of self-complex or something like that. But I say get over it. Move on.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. If you walk around with blinders on, how are you going to see anything? Seriously, like if you walk around and you constantly have blinders on and you don't see the forest, you know, past the trees, I mean, what do you expect is going to happen? You're going to get once again, it's going to keep getting the same results over and over and over again. And I think if you want change, sometimes you have to go out and create the change that you want to see.
And you know what's funny for me, just from like the Facebook posts and people that's responding, it's more people like outside the African Americans that been open to date.
Yes.
But African American women may not want to because of different things.
Well, you had touched on something earlier when we had our off-camera conversation, and you talked about history and the culture as far as with African American women and slavery and the things that happened to our culture of women, why some of them may be a little hesitant. And if it's an older generation, I can kind of see that, but I can't lend that excuse to anyone that's my age or younger, because we're not slaves. We ain't been slaves in hundreds of years. So it's time for us to, you know, like
Understand your history.
I understand my history. I respect
forward.
my history, but I can't live in the past. I'm here right now, so you have to live right here and right now. And I think that it's important that you do, that you are, not you do, but that you are open to something that's different.
That you love everybody.
Everybody.
Give everybody the opportunity.
Everybody the opportunity.
You know? And we